We're all part of this giant, invisible economic machine that literally powers our daily lives. In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on this incredibly complex and honestly fascinating world of international economics.
I mean, seriously think about it. The steel might be from one country, the computer chips from another, the tires from a third, all assembled somewhere else entirely. This is definitely not magic. It's a massive, coordinated global system that's hiding in plain sight.
So let's peel back the layers of this thing. We're going to explore the simple logic of why countries even bother to trade, the messy politics of who wins and who loses, the financial plumbing that makes it all possible, and the risks that come with being this deeply connected.
Okay, so it all begins with this one core idea that economists have been kicking around for centuries. It's really the fundamental reason we have a global economy in the first place. Now, this is a really crucial distinction, so stick with me. It's not about being the absolute best at making something. That's a different concept. Comparative advantage is all about focusing on what you give up the least to produce. A country asks itself, okay, should I make cars or microchips? And it's going to choose the one where it's most efficient, even if it's pretty good at both, and then just trade for the other one.
And here's how that plays out in the real world. If country A just focuses on its strength, which is assembly, and country B focuses on its strength, making parts, they both create a surplus. Then, through trade, they share that surplus, and believe it or not, both end up with more value than if they tried to do it all alone. This is the fundamental win-win of international trade.
But wait a minute. If the theory is so simple and it's such a win-win, why is trade one of the most heated political issues out there, right? Why are we constantly hearing about trade wars and protectionism? Well, that's because the overall win for a country doesn't mean everyone inside that country wins.
The tariff. This is the classic tool of protectionism. By making foreign stuff more expensive, a government gives a price advantage to its own producers at home. But, as we're about to see, the real effect of a tariff can be way more powerful and way more hidden than it first appears.
Okay, this is where the math gets really, really interesting. A 25% tax on the final car actually doubles the amount of money a domestic company can spend on just the assembly part. It jumps from $2,000 to $4,000. This is what's called the effective rate of protection, and it shows how a kind of modest-sounding tariff can create a massive protective wall for just one specific part of an industry. It's wild.
And this isn't just some textbook number. This is the estimated annual cost to U.S. consumers because of long-standing limits on sugar imports. These policies keep the price of sugar in the U.S. way higher than on the world market, which costs every single household a little bit more year after year.
It seems completely illogical, doesn't it? I mean, why would a country adopt a policy that costs the public billions just to give a much smaller benefit to a handful of producers? Well, the answer has a lot less to do with economics and a whole lot more to do with politics.
And this quote just nails it. The debate isn't really one nation versus another. It's about groups inside a nation. The sugar producers? They're a small, super organized group that benefits a ton. Consumers? We're a huge, disorganized group where each person only loses a little bit. And politically, those concentrated games almost always shout louder than the scattered costs.
But hold on. How does all this trade actually get paid for? I mean, for every car part moving in one direction, money has to move in the other. And that creates a huge problem. How do you pay for things when everyone is using a different currency? This is a massive problem, right? A Japanese company wants to be paid in yen, a German one in euros, and an American one in dollars. The solution is one of the biggest, fastest markets on the entire planet, running 24/7, and it's almost totally invisible to most of us. So every time a tourist exchanges money or a big corporation pays a foreign supplier, they're tapping into this market. It's the essential financial plumbing that connects every single national economy, allowing dollars to become yen and euros to become pounds, all in a fraction of a second. Now, this global market has one undisputed king, the US dollar. It's on one side of roughly 85% of all foreign exchange transactions. It's so central that a company in, say, Brazil, buying goods from South Korea will often convert its currency to dollars first and then use those dollars to buy the Korean currency. The dollar basically acts as the world's main vehicle currency. So we've built this incredibly efficient, hyper-connected global system of trade and finance. It's amazing. It allows for specialization, it creates wealth, and it gives us access to goods from all over the world. But that deep connection, that's also its greatest weakness. What happens when something goes wrong?
This right here is the dark side of globalization.
Because money can zip around the world so quickly, a banking crisis or a currency collapse in one country doesn't just stay there anymore. Fear and financial losses can spread through the system like a virus, knocking over dominoes in countries thousands of miles away.
And this is not a theoretical risk. Not at all. This timeline shows how financial instability has become a recurring problem in our interconnected world. A crisis that starts with one currency, like the Thai baht in '97, can shake an entire region. A crisis that starts in one little corner of one country, like the U.S. housing market in 2008, can bring the whole global financial system to its knees.
So let's just bring it all together real quick. First, trade is fundamentally about specialization, doing what you do best. Second, the politics of trade are almost always driven by internal fights, not country versus country. Third, a vast, invisible currency market is the plumbing that makes everything work. And finally, the very connections that make this system so efficient are also the source of its biggest risks. And that really brings us to the biggest question of all. We've built this incredible, complex system that has totally shaped the modern world. But these repeated crises have exposed its deep vulnerabilities. The challenge now isn't just about managing the risks. It's about deciding whether the price of all this global efficiency is a permanent state of fragility.